requires discipline, strategy, and finely honed skills. Traders are up against the best and brightest Wall Street has to offer. At TraderInsight.com, you can look over the shoulder of one of America's top traders. Join Dr. Adrian Manz and a cast of highly talented traders as they earn their living navigating the markets, one stock at a time, one trade at a time. TraderInsight.com. Strategy, discipline, results.
For TraderInsight.com, this is Adrian Manz, and this is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Thursday, November 20th, 2008. If you can't join me in Vegas and you would like to join me in Vegas, Vegas is just a mouse click away. Click on the flash hotspot in the video here and register if you haven't done so already for the webinar on Friday from 5:30 till 6:30 Pacific time. You can watch it live or you can watch the archives as long as you've registered, and you can also watch the presentations of a lot of other folks who know what they're doing and who know what they're talking about, all brought to you by the good people at the Traders Expo. So let's talk about the Dow, though. Let's talk about what happened on Wednesday. CPI data sure didn't look too good, looked like deflation. I think it's not as bad as the people at the Bureau of Economic Falsehoods there would have us believe. Once you sort of factor in the this energy whiplash that we have, the numbers aren't as deflationary as they would seem at first glance. All that being said, you know, nothing really helped the market today, and that testimony by the automakers in front of Congress, that was sure the nail in the coffin as far as I'm concerned. That kept us down at the bottom of the Dow box that we've been looking at for a couple weeks here for most of the session, and then broke us lower. And of course, we are now in a retest. We're in a test of this 79.80, 79.85 area, and if that gives, then I would assume that the next stop was going to be the major test that we've had of the 78.70 area, 78.70, 78.50, somewhere in there. If that breaks, look out below. We're gonna have a move lower, and then the challenge is going to be to get back into this box. If we can get back in there and sustain some trading in that range during and through the rest of the bad news, we'll be in good shape. If not, we're going to be starting lower, folks. That's all there is to it. Now, as for the Dow itself, down heavy today, down 427 points, 427.5 points. We did 1.6 billion shares. That's a little bit better volume than we had yesterday. But here is the real truth to the tape, right? Got to look at the internals, got to look at what's going on. 191 advancers versus 3,001 decliners. Almost impossible to find any green on the tape today. So things are continuing in the direction that we've been going. We've got about a month and a half of trend in place here. This is definitely a strong downward trend that is very pervasive in all of the indices. The S&P 500 down below major support today. The NASDAQ 100 broke support as well, as did the NASDAQ comp. Those guys are looking particularly bad going forward. Now, as far as Thursday goes, what am I going to look at? Well, the other thing that was down was housing starts. And I know that Centex, Lennar, Pulte, Beazer, DH, Horton, Meritage, those guys are all so beat up that it's almost not worth messing with the stocks anymore. There's not as much travel range there as there used to be, although not too many $8 stocks would be crying for lack of volatility when they move $1.20 in a day. So that's the other side of that coin. So I'm going to look at Centex, which broke down below a technical low here that had been in place for quite a while. That area at $7.78. Can you believe it? After we were talking about shorting this thing from what seemed like stratospheric levels a couple years ago, and now here we are at $7. But Lennar and, of course, Pulte, these guys all still have the travel range in them to make them worth watching for us. We're going to keep them on screen, keep them on the radar. That housing starts data was bad. It's going to trickle into this. There's all this talk about deflation and everything else that's bad for the builders. So the homies are back on the radar. They're going to stay on the radar for a while. We had said the other day I was going to watch insurance. We're going to watch Ace Limited. Big fastball move on Wednesday here. This thing did $7 during the session, and if we look at the intraday data on this, the selling data, it really sold off hard right off the open and just could not manage to put in a bounce. So I'm going to watch this thing on Thursday before leaving for Vegas. It had some big prints going into the close. I'm going to be curious to see if the sellers on this got done what they needed to get done, or if they're coming back for more on Thursday. Let's get back to a daily chart here. The other insurance company I'm watching is Allstate. Allstate also got creamed today. Down $5 on this one. This is a $5 travel range on a $25 stock. So it used to be a $25 stock. Now it's a $19.90 stock. I'm going to watch that for more short side opportunity on Thursday. I am also going to watch FMX. This is of course an ADR, and these guys are in the beverage business, and had a day of deconstructive price action on Wednesday, and it makes it worth watching going into Thursday's trading. It's a fastball setup. We've got an expansion there of range. The volume is not necessarily expanded the way that I generally would like to see it move, but look at the intraday data. This thing had just a horrific day. It went up, it tested this R1 area off the open, tried to get from the central pivot up to the first resistance, and any short the rest of the day, it was pretty much hard to find an area in here that a short sale in FMX wasn't worth your time. Look at the activity going into the close here. We had lots and lots of sell side action, obviously, as price was declining, as volume was increasing. So the fact that volume on the rest of the day in this sideways consolidation didn't cause an expansion of volume doesn't worry me so much. I'm going to watch this one on Thursday morning prior to taking off for the expo. So that is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar. I'm Adrian Manz. Please join me in Las Vegas if you can, and if not, you will hear from me again over the weekend.